Hello, in this video I'm going to be teaching you another very much unstable chord that wants to resolve to another chord, and it's called your dominant seventh chord. I'm going to be teaching you how to build this dominant seventh chord and how you can now apply them in worship progressions or any song at all to beautify it. So to build the dominant seventh chord of any major triad chord, all you need to do is just add 3 semitones towards the right from the third note of that triad chord. Okay, remember dominant seventh chord are made up of 4 notes. Okay, that is extended chord. So for instance, if this is your C major chord, to get the dominant seventh chord of this C major chord, all I will just do, this is the third note of the chord, that's 1, 2, 3, and add 3 notes from this third note, that is 1, 2, 3, and that's my dominant seventh. This is no longer C major chord but C dominant seventh chord. It's very simple, right? So for example, in another key, maybe let's say G, if this is G major chord, to get the dominant seventh chord, all you need to do is just count 3 semitones towards the right from this last note, that is 1, 2, 3, and that's your dominant seventh chord. So this is your G dominant seventh chord. So how can you apply this dominant seventh chord in worships or in any song at all? Okay, so it's just almost like similar to that of your diminished chord. Remember, your dominant seventh chord is also a very unstable chord that creates a lot of tension when played. Okay, it creates a lot of tension and it seeks to resolve to another chord. So most times it's used as a passing chord also, just like your diminished chord. Okay, so how it's actually done is that when you are going to a chord, that chord you are heading to is actually called your target chord. So what you just do, you count 5 semitones backwards from the root note of your target chord and play the dominant seventh chord of that key. Okay, so don't panic, this is just what I mean. For instance, if I'm going to my C major chord, if this is my target chord, that is, I'm going from one chord to this C major chord. So what's the root note of this C major chord? That is C, the note that gives the chord its identity. So this is C, and I'll count 5 semitones backwards and play the dominant seventh chord of that key to lead me to my C major. Okay, so I will now count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that is G. I'm going to play G dominant seventh chord, which is this. Remember, I taught you how to build it. If you get your triad, just add 3 notes before you now get to your C, which is your target chord. So using this principle, it works in any key and it's very awesome. So any chord you want to go to, just identify the root note of that chord, count 5 semitones backward and add, and play the dominant seventh chord of that key you get. For instance, if I'm heading to G, I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from this and play D dominant seventh chord to lead me to my G. So let's demonstrate this in a song and you really see how it flows. So the progression of the song goes like this. That is from C major chord to G major chord, which is this, back to C major chord, then our F major chord, and lastly our G major chord before finally resolving back to C major chord. Okay, so the part I'll be using the dominant seventh chord is when I'm transiting to my F major chord, and another part is when transiting to my G major chord. I will apply a dominant seventh chord before playing this chord, and the last part is when transiting to my C major chord. Okay, I'm going to apply dominant seventh chord. So let's demonstrate this concept without using the dominant seventh chord and with using the dominant seventh chord, so that you're going to see the difference and have a better understanding. So without adding the dominant seventh chord to the progression, this is how it sounds. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. He's so good to me. So now let's add the dominant seventh chord to it. Remember, when I'm going to F, I add dominant seventh chord. When going to G, I add dominant seventh chord, and when going to C. So let's see. God is so good. God is so good. God is so good. So you can see at this part, when I was going to from C to my G major chord, I added D dominant 7th chord to lead me to G. Why? Because D is 5 notes away from the root note of my target chord, which is G in this case. So this is G major chord. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I play the dominant 7th chord of D, which is this, to lead me to G major. So when going to F, I played C dominant 7th chord to lead me to F. Why? Because C is 5 semitones away from the root note of my target chord, which is F in this case. So I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and played C dominant 7th chord to lead me to my F major chord. And the same thing too applies for C. When going to C, I played G dominant 7th chord because it's because of the same reason. Okay, so this led me to this. Okay, I just hope you get the concepts. Dominant 7th chord can function as passing chord, can bridge you in progressions. You can add value to your the way your progression sounds. So if you learned something new, don't forget to like, subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Okay, so we'll see you in our future videos.